Hey guys, Mrs. Upton. I just wanted to let you know that I know that the Zoom meetings have been great, but they get kind of glitchy, so it's hard to hear when I read. So I said that I would read our Civil War on Sunday book chapter by chapter and then put it on YouTube. So we are going to pick up at chapter 6 where we left off in class. And just to remind you of what happened, went to the Civil War and they found themselves in a hospital camp. And they ended up meeting Clara Barton, and now they are going off to the war to help her. And remember, they had already gotten their piece of paper that gave them the list to be cheerful, lessen sorrows, and give hope. Be brave, put aside your own feelings, and don't give up. And remember, those are the things that they were supposed to share with the soldiers to help them make the soldiers that were injured feel better. So chapter 6 is called Keep Low. The wagon jerked and swayed as it bumped over the dry ground. Jack felt as though he were frying in the hot sunlight. Dust from the road filled his throat and eyes. The boom of cannons grew louder and louder. Jack heard popping sounds, too, like the noise of firecrackers. "What's that popping noise?" he shouted, blinded by the dust and the sunlight. "Musket fire," said Clara. Jack remembered that muskets were long, old-fashioned guns. "What are those flashes?" asked Annie. Jack tried to open his eyes and see what she was talking about. He saw bright flashes of light in the distance and puffs of smoke in the sky. Oops. So there's your picture. "Cannon shells exploding," said Clara Barton. "Shells are like tiny bombs. They have ruined much farmland." Jack squinted at the passing countryside. The ground was filled with ugly holes. Long ditches were also cut through the fields. "Did the shells make those ditches too?" he asked. "No. Those ditches the soldiers dug for a battle." I'm going to start that part over. "No, those trenches the soldiers dug for a battle," Clara said. "Each side digs their own. Day after day they sit in the trenches, firing their muskets at one another." Jack tried to imagine how terrible it would be to sit in a trench all day, waiting to be shot or waiting to shoot someone else. "We have to get some water," said Clara, and she drove the wagon to a narrow creek. A stream of water flowed downhill, running over the rocks. The wagon came to a halt. Jack heard a whistling sound, then another. "Keep low," cried Clara. "What's that?" Jack asked. "Cannon fire," she said. Jack and Annie crouched down in the driver's seat. Jack felt a rush of panic. He pulled out their list. His hands were shaking as he read, "Be brave." "Oh, great," he thought. Another cannon shell whizzed overhead, and then another. The ground exploded over and over in flashes of light. Dirt clods flew everywhere. Clouds of smoke and more dust filled the air. The horses neighed and whinnied. "Be brave," Jack thought. "Be brave." And that's the end of chapter 6. Bye, guys. I'll see you for chapter 7.